Calling from an 813 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi. My name is Sam. I am calling you from Sarasota, Florida, and I am a student at the New College of Florida, which you guys
Oh,
covered the other
wow.
day, and I thank you very much for that.
We
So I decided to figure out how to finally call into your show and share what's going on and how the students are feeling.
All right. Will you just catch us up next?
yeah. Sam was out. Sam Cedar was out when we spoke about the new college. But for people that don't know what's going on, this is the smallest public college in Florida. It's known as a kind of liberal or more progressive school compared to others in Sarasota. And what Ron DeSantis has done as like a political stunt is organize some sort of like Hillsdale College-esque takeover, including bringing on an administrator from Hillsdale, as well as Chris Rufo himself, to stack the board with far-right people, and there's been a lot of outrage. Is that a good summation?
Yeah, I can elaborate more.
Sure.
Yeah, I can go more in depth. So New College is the public honors college of Florida. We rank in the top 5 of like all public liberal arts schools in the country. Like it's a very incredibly successful school with very unique like models for academia, and students have like the freedom to choose their own academic path and study subjects that can be considered controversial by, especially conservatives. And also, aside from us just being progressive, we are a predominantly LGBT student body. Like this school is a queer safe space. And it has been for all of its history because it was opened in 1960. And it makes it an incredibly like hostile and dogmatic attack by these people because they're doing it intentionally, right? Like they want to take away the space. They want to attack the queer students. I'm one of the main student organizers, and I've already been attacked by Chris Rufo on Twitter, and far-right media has already said some mean things about me because I'm a transgender woman, so they have already like made some mean comments, and it's just starting.
Oh, jeez.
And these new trustees, as Emma said, I can go more in depth. There's Chris Rufo, the main guy, but then 3 of the new trustees are also worked on the 1776 Commission. One of them, Matthew Spalding, was appointed by Trump as the executive director of the 1776 Commission, and now he's on our trustee list. So these people are all pseudo-academics. They believe in historical revisionism. They want to purge all the faculty at this school. Like, their upcoming plans are to terminate all contracts with faculty and reevaluate them and abolish tenure protections.
Jesus.
And it could basically lead to about 90% of faculty being purged by next fall. And they fired our president, too, the other day. Our president was liberal-leaning, and she kept the liberal guise, the liberal facade of, I'm just here to work with our new trustees, and she tried to be nice and play nice with them. And they just brutally fired her during the first new trustee meeting last week.
And yet,
and
I mean,
finally, after she...
from a performance...
I can just... Yeah, I can... Yeah, so you can go.
I mean, from a performance perspective, there's no... This is really just, they don't like what they perceive as some type of ideological bent to the school. But in terms of like grades and in terms of like any measure that you would have, the school is a success.
Yes, there's lots of famous alums that have gone here and are all publicly posting about how great the school was for their academic experience. And also it's very unique in the sense that we don't actually have grades here. We have narrative evaluations where professors at the end of the term evaluate you and write about how you are as a student, how you were in the class, etc. So you get a more in-depth relationship with your professors than in a traditional environment. Also, in our classes are discussion-based, right? Because there's only like about, between 5 and 20 people in each class. So you have the capability to go very in-depth in your discussions. And they claim that we're not free thinking here. They claim that we're being indoctrinated. But I would argue that, like, we are probably the most free-thinking college probably in the country in the way that we are allowed to have in-depth, like, intellectual discourse about the subjects we are learning. As you said, it's incredibly ideological. They will cherry-pick some statistics that are, like, used to make us look unfavorable, but those statistics can't really be used to cover the size of our school. They're made for like the greater, like larger universities. And I would also like to say, like, I'm incredibly frustrated with how like mainstream media has been covering it. Like, New York Times said that DeSantis is taking on the educational establishment. And then I had one-on-one dialogue with Chris Rufo after his town hall, and the LA Times covered a snippet of our dialogue, and it just basically like accepted everything Rufo said to me at face value when I was like, hey, you're here claiming you're just trying to expand academic freedom, yet you support the purging of various faculty, abolishing gender studies, abolishing classes that are seriously critical of racism, and et cetera. And he just lied and was like, no, I'm not. I'm just here to expand free thinking. But if you look at what he actually says online, he's clearly here to instill some sort of reactionary, conservative, dogmatic agenda at this school. And the media just isn't covering that. They're just taking Rufo's like centrist posturing at face value, and it's incredibly frustrating.
What's happening with the student body?
The student body is really upset. I mean, I would say maybe like 95% of students that go here don't want this.
Have they been
and maybe there's like
protesting?
4% who are apathetic.
Yeah.
I'm part of an organization called New College Students for Educational Freedom. You can find us on Twitter. And our DMs are also open if anyone wants to connect. It's NCFEDU Freedom, and we're organizing protests. And we had our first protest last week, and we're going to continue organizing. And we're also coordinating with other schools in the Florida State University system because they are also being targeted. Republicans picked our school first because of its small population size and vulnerable queer student body. But if they succeed at New College, it will become the blueprint for far-right, reactionary, hostile takeovers of academia everywhere under their control. Like, this is starting out with a small school in Florida, but this will be a model for how they do it nationally.